I'm sayakatcosplay and my hair is wet, but I am working on a cloud strife wig today. I didn't film the crimping process because that's boring, and it's the same thing for every crimping thing. You crimp. Anyway, I'm going to be styling, or starting to style the wig today, and probably finishing it another day. But through the magic of editing, you won't know what's what. Anyway, I'm going to be styling a cloud wig, and I'm going to take you along on the process and show you how I go about doing all of the spikes and everything, because it is a fairly spiky wig. And so I've already gone ahead and textured it, and I'm going to go ahead and texture it further. So what I'm actually going to be doing is, especially in the front here, so the front is actually this part, this is where the long fibers are, I'm actually going to be taking the fibers and further making them textured through just teasing the ever-living crap out of the wig. So I'm going to be teasing this and then using that crimped and teased fiber to make the spikes and to make the style. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So to further get these fibers prepped for spiking, what I'll do is I will tease the fiber and then hit it with some hairspray, hit it with my hair dryer to kind of set the tease, pick it apart, and then do it again and then pick it apart again. So there'll be a little bit of hairspray in the fibers before I start spiking. And this way I'm going to be using a steamer to steam the fibers into place before I finish setting the style with more hairspray. So there's already going to be hairspray in the fiber when I steam it, which makes putting these spikes in much easier when I'm actually steaming, because there's already some product in the wig. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of this teasing work, and then that basically is prepping it and getting it ready to be spiked. So this is what the fibers look like after they've been teased and had hairspray put in them, and you can see this is even fluffier than just the crimping. So we're gonna end up doing the massive fluff and get everything super fluffy before I start spiking. So I'm gonna do this the whole front of the wig to get everything nice and big and floofy and ready for spiking. And if you're wondering, like, why spend so much time, like, crimping and then doing this and then teasing, I've learned throughout the years, especially for spiked styles, that prepping the fiber properly really helps in your final styling. It makes the spiking so much easier and faster. So I'm spending more time now prepping the fiber, but once I actually get to the spiking, it's not going to take as long because I don't have to spend a ton of time like getting everything into place. The fibers will just do what I want them to do. So I'm going to spend the time now prepping the fiber and spend less time spiking later. So this is probably a little bit more time into the wig doing all this, but it really helps with the overall look, and I like how it looks, so I'm going to do all this prep work to make my life easier. I have fluffed everything to the gods. I forgot to mention that this wig base that I'm using, this is an Epic Cosplay wig base. It is the style Aphrodite. Yeah, Aphrodite, and the color is blonde mix. So if you want to do one of these for yourself and was wondering what the hell I'm using, that's what I'm using. I usually use Epic Cosplay or Arda for my wig bases, and this just happens to be up at Cosplay. So it has been floofed to the gods, and so now I'm going to section everything out and figure out the placement of all of the spikes, and I'm going to use just little elastics and get everything sectioned before I start styling it. So that's the next step. So floof everything, section everything, and then style everything. That's my steps. Finger guns. Sections. It looks still like a hot mess, but trust the process. And once I start like trimming and spiking, it'll start to look like cloud. So yeah, I have pretty much, this isn't like a final sectioning, but this is kind of just like helps me figure out how much hair is in each spike, where each spike is gonna be placed, and like just about generally how many spikes I need to do, which is a lot in the case of cloud. So I got this all sectioned out. This is my stopping point for today because I don't feel like being covered in wig fiber right now. That's pretty much it. So this is where I'm going to stop right now, and I'll pick this up tomorrow. Hello, it is the next day. It is time to spike the wiggy. So like I did yesterday, I sectioned everything out. So now I'm going to take each section and start to get it into this shape that I want, and also start cutting off the excess. So a lot of these spikes don't need to be long as the fiber is now. So once I kind of start to get things into place, I will also cut. Sometimes I cut before. It kind of just depends on which spike is what and how it's looking. I might cut most of the bulk off before and then style it, or style it and then cut the bulk off. So it kind of just depends. And so I'm going to be styling these in the front here first, and then just kind of moving up and back. That's just kind of how I usually work. I'll start in the front and then move backwards. So let's get this done. Also, for a lot of this, I'm going to be using my trusty steamer. This was like 20 bucks off Amazon, and it's great. I probably could get like a fancier one that will let me like control the steam, but it works. So let's get to steaming. So when I'm cutting the fiber for a spike, I cut off the length mostly just by not straight cutting, but like kind of feather straight cutting across. And then I go in and thin the fibers out by just kind of gently cutting some longer fibers like that. And then I'll also go in and point cut the bottom so that I have it cut so that the bottom is much thinner than the top of the spike, so that it'll come together into a nice point. And then I can refine the point more after that, but I like to do that cutting before I start to define the spike, just because it makes it easier to bring it into shape at the end, like this. So I'm just steaming the fibers, and this already has some hairspray in it, but I'll add more if I need it. And then use hairspray to set the style. This heating method really sets the fibers pretty well. So I generally overall use a lot less hairspray when I'm using the steamy guy. just gonna go ahead and refine that, and then I will do some more spiking and show you some of the finished results. So I've been spiking for a while. Here's where I'm at. We're getting somewhere. This big guy, this is going to be a big spike in the back here. I've got some more spikies to do around the back and the sides, but yeah, this is the front, and this kind of looks like a mess, but we're getting there. Looking more like a cloud, like cloud, you know. So yeah, that's the progress so far. So the wig is finished, pretty much. All the spiking is done, and I think it came out pretty great. So yeah, the whole process for spiking is just cutting after everything has been floofed, cutting it to where I want it, then using the steamer to get it into place, and then just any refining that I need to do. And then more hairspray to keep everything in place. And then that's a wig. Maybe this was a tutorial? Who knows? See you in the next video.